Greetings from Leavenworth, Washington. I'm Don Wood from Icicle Winery, and I hope to spend a few minutes with you today to just show you around a little bit. You may have heard some of the greatest wines in the country are coming from right in this little valley here. It's the Leavenworth Valley, just not far from Wenatchee. It's the heart of Washington's playground. So we're going to wander around some of the wineries and some of the tasting rooms in Leavenworth and meet some of the owners, shake some hands, and get to know what's going on in the wine industry. If you'll spend some time with me, I think we'll find some treasures. Here we are at one of the most exciting places in Leavenworth to taste wine. It's the Goose Ridge Estate Winery. And this is my good friend Katie. She's the manager here in the tasting room. Hi Katie, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
Good to see you. So I was wondering, when your customers come to Goose Ridge, what do they say is the thing that they're looking for?
Well, we have a little bit of everything at Goose Ridge. We have both whites and reds. We're actually known for being an estate winery, so everything we do comes from our own land, as well as our cider, which also comes from our own orchards.
One of the things I love about your tasting room is all the merch available. I mean, this isn't just a wine tasting store. This is a really cool merch place, right? So what sort of products do you carry?
Currently, we have all sorts of little gift items, home decor items. We see ourselves mostly as a winery, but also a good place to stop and pair a bottle of wine with a nice home decor item, and you have a ready-made gift.
I love it. Now, when a customer comes to town here in Leavenworth, how do they find you here in the tasting room?
So we are down towards the brewery. We're right underneath Walkabout Grill, right next door to Icicle Ridge Winery. We have a patio with some heaters and some great little chairs to sit out and enjoy.
Congratulations on having one of the premier wineries in Washington.
Thank you.
And for being here in Leavenworth. It's very cool.
Thank you so much.
So here we are again in downtown Leavenworth. This is my good friend Paul, and he represents Eagle Creek Winery. Paul, I'm so glad to see you today.
Cindy, well, good seeing you. Always good seeing you.
I was thinking it'd be so great for the people to know about the history of Eagle Creek.
As far as we know, it's the oldest established winery in Leavenworth. There were grapes planted here prior. My stepdad, Ed Rutledge, decided he needed a hobby, and he decided to make some wine, and then it became much more than a hobby.
You actually have an estate winery. You grow the grapes, don't you?
We do.
What's the well-known wine here at Eagle Creek?
We've got our 20th vintage of our Adlerweiss, and we're in our 16th year of doing our Montage. The Adlerweiss is a nod to our Bavarian tradition here in town. It's Eagle White. Our red is a little bit different. Our red is a production of two grapes that do exceedingly well in north central Washington, Cabernet Franc, and as we all know, Merlot is great throughout the state.
Now, when a customer comes to Leavenworth, they can go to wine tasting room after wine tasting room. How do they find yours?
You know, it does help that at 617 Front Street, we're at the right beginning of Front Street when you come off the strip and start walking to town. We also are lucky that we have a tasting room at our vineyard, which is 5 miles from town center. If we don't have the wines you want, there's definitely somebody in town that does, and we're more than happy to send you to get you what you want.
The Eagle Creek Winery is one of the very authentic and original wineries in Leavenworth. We're very proud of it. Nice to talk to you, Paul.
Pleasure. Thanks so much.
Yep. Well, here we are at one of the grand adventures in the wine world. Right here in Leavenworth, Washington, we have one of the gems in Washington State, Boudreaux Cellars, and this is my very good friend, Rob Newsom. So tell our guests, we've been having fun all over Leavenworth today, just popping in and out of tasting rooms and wineries, but you've been around a really long time. So tell us about your history a little bit.
I've lived here for a long time, like 37 years, I think. Been interested in wine my whole life. I started making wine here in 1998 and eventually built the winery that's behind us. You know, we were bonded in 2001. I'm having my 20th crush this year.
You know, it's good to point out that if you bonded in 2001, that puts you in the oldest 10% of wineries in Washington State. We're proud of that legacy to have you here in Leavenworth. Tell us about your cab. Why should we be excited about your cab?
Well, we mostly make cab. I have the great fortune to get remarkable fruit from really great cab sources in this state.
If people come to Leavenworth and they want to enjoy Boudreaux Cellars, how do they do that? How do they find you?
Well, we have a tasting room at 821 Front Street in Leavenworth. If you're like a serious wine buyer and you want to buy cases of wine, we'll show you the winery.
Where is the winery exactly?
We are 8 miles into Icicle Canyon, 4 miles off the power grid, according to Food and Wine magazine, the only commercial winery in North America completely off the power grid. It's really cool what's happened here. When you and I started, there was like 3 or 4 of us, and now there's a lot of opportunities to taste wine in Leavenworth.
You're highly regarded as one of the greatest experiences in all the Western United States. Congratulations, Rob Newsom. Great to talk to you. I'd encourage all our guests to come out and visit Boudreaux Cellars as soon as they can. We've had a really fun day traveling around the wineries and the tasting rooms of Leavenworth. We're here back now at Icicle Ridge Winery. Our tasting room is a handcrafted log home built by Louis and Judy Wagner back in the mid-90s. It became our tasting room in the early part of the 2000s, and it's become the focal point of a grand experience here in Washington. If you join us here inside this log home, you'll see that the experience is unforgettable. Thanks again for joining us here today for wine tasting. It's an absolute amazing time to be part of the Washington wine industry, and especially right here in the Leavenworth Valley. I hope that you'll come sometime in person and join us here in the tasting rooms. This is a great part of Washington to go wine touring in. And so I personally welcome you and hope to see you here again soon.